Good morning everyone and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I'm up today with a small Panalisa project share, and also we're going to do the door because I haven't made anything on camera for absolutely ages. So here, let's get stuck in. First of all, today I've used the Glamour Pack from Panalisa. I've used the tag, which comes with a circle, it comes with a rectangle, and it also comes with a square, but I put the square in here and I shouldn't have. And this is a bag filled with absolutely gorgeous pieces: tags, mini envelopes, film wheels, little note pieces. I am linking this below, and it's just such a lovely little set. It's one of those, it's a bit like, you know, playing with a doll's house. You open the bag, cut everything apart, and away you go. But mine is very simple because, as I said, I'm going to do that tutorial. So I did cut some tags. I've used the tabs from the other set. Look at that tiny little envelope. I'm going to get that off. But I did a little clip that comes in the mix set, and there is the little picture wheel. And then in the tag set you get a sort of rectangle, and I cut that through, which is what made that pocket. I used a new embossing folder. I glued one of the tabs onto there, and then over here we've got another little clip that I cut out. This paper is absolutely gorgeous, but look at this teeny tiny envelope, and I had a little piece of map paper. And now I'm going to try and get it out because I'm hoping, because you know me and disasters, that I didn't glue it in. And I might have just done that. Oh no, I didn't. It might have caught a bit of glue at the bottom though. I'm pretty sure that it has. Oh no. But I'm not going to hide my disaster from you. But if you make one, make sure that the glue is dry. Well, anyway. It cuts a gorgeous little notelet. It's that size, and there is a little map on there, but it's just this teeny weeny gorgeous envelope, and I just absolutely love that. I mean, I can sit and play with stuff like this for hours, and there's all different kinds of permutations that you can use, you know, sort of, I don't know, just put in little pockets and labels, and it's such a great size. And I did put another tab on there a bit lower down, because that's the best way to file and organise yourself when you're looking. That does actually stay on there. I've got it stuck over 2 pages. But anyway, going from chaos, let's hope we can get something right. And that goes into there. But I just love it. You can stamp all over this. You can do whatever it is you want. It's just a huge bag just filled with fun. All sorts of little pieces. There's even a film slide and photo corners. And I just shake it around. It's just a lovely bag of goodies. But anyway, link below and you'll have to go off and have a look yourself. Right, now I am going to move that out of the way. And one of the things that people have asked for, excuse my throat, and this is sold by Panalisa, is the door. Now, the door is big. It is big, and the door also comes with a frame. And what you do is you cut it out like that, so that you've got the door frame and you've got the door, and then you take the door away and you cut one out so that you've got a back panel onto which you can stick everything. And the door on its own is, getting my ruler the correct way around, let's have a look, 5 3/4 inches. That's just the door. If we take the length of the frame, we are looking at 6 1/4 inches, cut line to cut line, and going across that way we are looking at, that's just a little bit under 4 inches. So it is a great size die. So that is what I did, and I did it in white so that we can do some inking. And so I've cut a back panel, I have cut a frame, and I have cut a door, and I haven't poked my pieces out yet. I'm going to do that in a minute. So it does cut out absolutely perfectly. I will push on something so that you can see, you know, all I need to do is poke those. But all of those pieces will poke out, including these and including the door handle key bit. That's called the escutcheon plate. Yeah, how's that for a big word first thing in the morning? I might need another coffee now. I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree glue, and I'm going to be using some blue because I kind of want blue coming through the back of these sort of like fancy wrought iron window panels. So I'll choose a blue out of that, and then I've got my red tubes out, so it might be a little bit of mahogany and red, something that's going to look a little bit seasonal. And that's my bow barking, which means it's the mail lady. I don't think we're going to have any more disasters. I'm just peeking out of the window. No, it's not the mail lady. She's just barking at anything. I've got hickory smoke, and I've also got black soot in that little bit. I've got my distress oxide in black soot. It is all oxides that I'm using today. And I've got 2 of my blendy doodahs, which will go onto those foams. Right, first of all, I'm going to go off and poke these out, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've completed poking, and now I've got my wrought iron, I've got my little door panels. You can see everything is now popped out of that door. We've got the frame, and we've also got the base. Now then, I can see roughly within the base where I need to be with my blue. So I'm just going to go in that top half section there, not quite to the edges, and I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with bone china, because I'm thinking sort of like Christmas and a bit more of a frosty blue. Mermaid Lagoon is lovely, but it's kind of cartoon critter and a little bit warm, if you know what I mean. So I am going to see what's on here. If I haven't got enough ink on here to do this, then I will just get up and get some more. And I probably haven't. I mean, one of the great things about using those containers is you can actually put your things back and leave your foam soaked. So I'll just pause while I grab an ink pad. I actually grabbed a couple so that I'm appearing a bit more organised. Right, so this is what we're using, distress oxide broken china. I'm just going to grab a bit. I don't want too much on there. And as I said, just in this section where the windows are going to be, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that it's going to be covering that area that's going to be showing in the window section. Right, I can see that. Now I can put some more down. There we are. I think that should do it. It's interesting cardstock, this. I got it from Amazon. It's really, really heavyweight. And it takes the ink in really weird stages, but I do like it. I'll hold it up and show you. It kind of, it's like distressed and speckled all on its own, if you know what I mean. So it is quite nice. And then if I put my door on there, you can see that I've got a little bit of a lighter shade down there, which is quite nice. So that is the back for my door, and that's how quick and easy that was. And I need to dust the edges with some black soot, because that is going to be my frame. So I'm just going to get my black soot out of here, and I don't think I've got much left on there either. I do tend to use my oxides an awful lot when I'm playing around. So there you can see I've got a light dusting around the edge, and I don't want to over soak it because I've got to glue it. And the reason that I do that is because I want the door frame to kind of blend in with the base. I don't want the base to look as if it's white, even though we know it is. Right, so just take that bit up to there. And then if I pop that there, and I've grabbed my door frame, separate that out from the door, and I can pop that on there. Then when that's inked, it doesn't matter if you've glued it on a little bit skew-if, because it's going to be the same colour as the top of it. Right, I am going to put some black soot onto here. I'll just show you how I do that really, really quickly. And of course, you're going to need to clean your mat. And I'm just sweeping it on, and you can see there are little bits of white there, which is kind of like how an old door would look. A bit streaky and a little bit scuffed up, if you know what I mean, because we are going for some age here. And just drag that down gently, and then across there. Got to fade it out a little bit. So there you can see the door frame. I hope my camera's not playing up. And it just looks like paint's peeled and it's a little bit worn. I actually did all that, didn't I, without going off camera. So I'm always looking at the time, because I know, looking at my algorithm, that sort of like people like videos that are 5 minutes long. So I'm always trying to sort of like rush to get within that. So there is the door frame, and as I said, you know, we've already edged that. So when that's glued down onto there, we've got all round a nice black edge. So what colour are we having the door? We're having aged mahogany, and to do that I'm going to need to clean my mat. So I'm just going to put a little squirt of water down there, a little puddle, get some kitchen paper, and let's get that up. I mean, it doesn't matter if a little bit of black gets into the aged mahogany, because I am going to try and streak it afterwards. So that's all up and clean. Make sure it's dry, because sometimes you can get tiny fine little beads of water on a silicone mat. And talking about silicone mats, these are from Amazon, and they're like $6 for 3, and they're huge. They're like 18 by 12, which is an awesome project size. Right, so aged mahogany. And if you can see, there's a crack on the lid there. That's because I had to use a blade to open it. The whole thing was sealed shut, and that's how it came from the factory, and I couldn't be bothered to send it back. So, you know, I just lived with it like that. So I am now going to take off my Blue Lagoon. No, it's not. It's broken china. Pop that back into its little pot. And I know that's all nice and moist and juicy, ready to go and do clouds and stuff next time. And in here I have got my aged mahogany, and it's the one right on the top. So I'm going in there. I need my blending tool, straight in there, pick it up, and I've got the feeling actually that this one might be juicy, so let's test it. Ooh, got a nice streakiness to that. I really like that. I'm going to go across there. And there might be areas that I'm going to go into in a second and just do this a lot darker. Be careful when you're doing cross pieces like this, because you can catch them and end up putting a crease in them, if you know what I mean. So I've got that, and you can see the ink has gone down darker in some places than others. That's okay. And I'm going to put a lot more on. I just took the lid off my ink pad there, and I'm putting some more on. Ooh, well, that's completely soaked it up, hasn't it? But that's okay, it's a great colour. It does look like mahogany wood. Sweep that down. And this cardstock, once again, you know, it does soak up a huge amount of ink. But I do love the kind of the feel that I get from it, because it doesn't look perfect. It actually looks like it's been hit with a really fine mist of water. Whoops, me doing what I said don't do, which is catching it. Right. And there are still a few light pieces there that you can see, and that's okay, because in a second I'm going to go over with some black. Right, I'm just going to clean that and I'll be right back. Right, so next I'm going to do my door panels in aged mahogany as well. And because something like this is usually sort of like recessed in the door, there's going to be a shadow. So we're going to use the ink blending tool and drop a shadow in there. And of course your shadow always depends where you think your light's coming from. And your light can come from whatever direction you want it to. I'm somebody who kind of thinks everything comes from the left, but in my craft room it all comes from the right and in front of me actually. So I've got some aged mahogany there, and now I've got my black soot, and I'm just going to go along the edge where I think my shadow is going to be. And I'm kind of like that. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. My camera. Ooh, let me drop it down just a little bit. There, hopefully you'll see that better. And then I'm going to go on this side again. And down here. And so I've got that one. And once again, I'm going down the right side. So my light is coming in from the left. We don't have to be perfect. And now you just want a fine line around each of them. Now it's kind of like the more you get over to the right, the darker you want your colour to be, because that's in the deepest shade. So there's that one. And I'll just trim off around the edge on that one. And we'll pop the door on and see what that looks like. Can you see what I mean about introducing the light and the shadow in there? I mean, we are going to put it together in a minute and you will see that. But for now, while we've got the black soot out, I want to put some sort of streaks to the door. Now, the bottom of the door is likely to be the dirtiest, isn't it? Because that's where everybody's feet end up. So I just want to smoosh that in. It's a little bit there. And hopefully you can see that. I mean, working with oxides is really lovely. They're so creamy and smooth. But I honestly don't think that I've got enough black soot to do my streaks with. So I've been very brave and put some on there. And first of all, I'm going to work the edge just to see how much I've got. Right, there was quite a lot on there. So now I want to hold it upright and I'm just going to just gently hit it. No perfection required. The streakier the better, that's what I say. Just want the door to look like it's been there for a very long time and has gotten itself all dirty and scuffed up. So you can see it's just sort of like dibbled and dabbled all over the place. And I'm going to put a little bit more down here because there's going to be shades there. So that's what I've got. Now, while I've got the black soot out, now I can make it really juicy and go in, because I want my wrought iron to be black and I want the escutcheon lock also to be black. So here goes. Not much fussing about. Just dibble and dabble, and it should get the white edges as well for you. making a nice pattern on the mats. So we just want to get rid of all the white cardstock. Let's have a look here. I'll go quiet, you know I'm having fun. It's not because I'm ignoring you. Ooh, that's nice. I might even juice this up and do it again, actually, because I really don't want any white parts to be showing, and that's what I'll do. I'm going to put some more ink on here. The interesting thing about black soot in oxide is that it's more of a charcoal grey than a black, if you know what I mean. Let's get that escutcheon done. That's cute. And of course, one of the easiest things to do is put your fingerprints and everything. And you're not going to see that so much on something like this because it's kind of delicate fretwork. But I'm going to carry on doing these, as you can see. I'm going to let them dry for a minute and we'll put it all together. Right, so my little bits are, I think, good enough and dry, and my hands are almost clean, and I wipe the mat. And the first thing to do is to pop down the frame onto what is going to be the backing piece. Now, the bit that's got the lighter distressed area I'm keeping over here, and my darker bit is over here. So I'm using Dollar Tree glue. I always use that. It's my favourite, and I'm just going to run a bead along here. Or should I say a line? And you do find actually that glue squidges when you press down, so you don't want to put too much on, especially with the oxide. And I haven't got any of that matte medium paste, which wouldn't stain, but this most certainly would stain. Now I need to make sure that I've got it on straight, and I'm hoping that I have, because you know me, I can't see. So I'm just going to stand it on edge while I squish it. Now this is of course the great start of a Christmas card if you're going to use a wreath or something on your front door, or it's going to be the wonderful beginnings of a book cover. Maybe you've just moved house and you like to take photos of renovations and stuff like that, and you just want progress of the home you've built for yourself. It's a great starting place for something like that. Or even on a scrapbook page where you can hinge it with just packing tape. And I have done a video, I think a couple of years ago, where I showed how to do that. And you can open it up and see your photograph behind. Right, so that is the door frame. And then, of course, next up, I want to stick the door. So I'm going to smother it with glue and come back. Right, so I've coated that with glue, and as you can see, there's not a huge amount on there. You don't kind of want it oozing out all over the place. And I just need to position that. Let's get it even up the sides here. And I need to push that down. Don't want any gaps. If anybody can see any gaps, shout me. Right, so that bit's gone in. And I tell you what, this would look fabulous as well if you've got some dark coloured tulle and you put that behind. It would look like a vintage porch screen door, wouldn't it? You could have your Halloween pumpkins and things there, and your little haunted sign. Right, so I want to press that flat. I don't want that curling up on me. Right, that's gone down nicely. And then the next thing is to put in the bottom panels of the door. And as you can see, I've got some glue there, but I'm wiping it off, and I hope it's not going to dry shiny. And my darkest piece is, I believe, looking at them, this piece. So I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm just putting glue on. I hope you can see. And I'm tucking that down. And I will actually change the angle of the camera after, if you haven't got a very good view, so that you can see it finished. Oh, and I think I'll put the escutcheon plate in. Put a little bit up there. Pop that down. It's like building a house, isn't it? Oh, now you see all that glue oozing out. Just try and get it off as fast as you can. And I might need to get my marker and do the keyhole in a different colour. So next shadow piece. Not too much glue again. Pop that in. Can you see how the shadow's falling along it? Make sure everything's glued down. Sometimes it can take a couple of minutes with Dollar Tree glue, but you just have to keep going back and just tapping it and hitting it with your fingers. That one in. We'll pick this up now and show you. Any bits of glue, as I said, just get to them straight away. You can see the shadow. See my glue? It always ruins any oxide or distress ink when glue gets onto it. But, you know, I can hit that with a bit of black oxide after, I think, and chase it away. But you've got that lovely distress under the escutcheon and all that lovely dirt, you know, that's kicked the door over many, many years. And, of course, the next thing to do is the wrought iron panels that will go up here. So what I will do is I will glue one. I'm looking at the camera again, and we're headed towards half an hour, I think. So I'm just dotting it where it needs it. Just pop little bits of glue, because this is quite a fine piece. So just pop it where you think it might curl up on you. And then just do it like that. Let's pop that one in. And you've got that lovely blue behind. Which, as I said, you don't want to go too bright and too cartoony. I mean, if you're doing a lovely, you know, sort of glittery, sparkly pink door, then that's absolutely fine. Right, now I'm going to stick the other bits in and I'll be right back. Right, so I tied it up a little and everything is glued in place. And if I can get in there, you can see you've got that lovely shadow being cast across the bottom of the door there. If you look at the way that the blending's been done, all the way up to the door frame. Now, me personally, I don't like that. I suppose it's okay, but it's a bit bright for me. So excuse me while I just grab a marker. Right, so I'm using a Copic multiliner and it's a 05, and I am just going to gently go in there and obliterate the white. I suppose really I should have done a little bit of ink blending down in there so that it was blue, and that probably would have been the best thing for it. But it's actually a darker black than the black soot, so it does show up. It's not like you've hidden the fact that there's a little keyhole there, which is quite charming. And I've also found a hitch pin, and these are also available on AliExpress, and I think that needs to go there for the doorknob. So I'm just going to grab one of these, a permanent glue dot, and just stick it on the bottom. Spread that across there. I'm just looking at it to make sure that there's no sort of bits hanging out. And then you need to just position it where you think it should go, and I think it's there. So if I put it down flat and give it a squeeze, and now I have a cute little doorknob. Isn't that sweet? Right, well, that is what I got for you today. Haven't made anything in a long while, and I really enjoyed that. But as I said, you can do these doors in whatever colour you choose. They're just so sweet. And I also played around with the little office set, and whoops, she says, grabbing everything, and the gorgeous paper called Glamour, and the tag, and I made the tiny little book there, which, you know, when I've got some time is going to be great fun. And I'm going to remember, never put your little note in there when the glue is still wet, because that won't be much fun. And that's what I got for you. Right, have an absolutely awesome weekend. I am going to be up on Monday with projects from KS Craft. So if you're still shopping the sale, I am pretty sure that it ends at midnight tonight. I think that's when it ends. If not, make sure you check. There's like a little ticker banner going above your cart that tells you how many hours you've got left. But anyway, I thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome weekend. As usual, all links below. Bye.